Bennett, Genshin Impact's worst and biggest mistake in this entire game's lifespan. But you might be thinking, what do you mean? Bennett's such a phenomenal character. He's been top-notch S tier since day one. Yes, he has, and that is exactly the problem. Imagine this game without Bennett, from day one up until now. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over Bennett, and everything that I say as an insult or I guess a dig towards Bennett is also a compliment at the same time, because the problems with this character are not bad. It's because he's too good. He's too good at too many things for too long, and I'm finally starting to see people get sick of him. Sick of seeing him in team comps, sick of people catering around him, sick of how he pretty much single-handedly unenables a bunch of characters that people could have potentially been excited for. Because we've all seen this time and time again. The longer you've played this game, the more you've seen it with each new character and new release. It's how does this character work with Bennett? How does Bennett already trump this new character coming out? How many characters would have had a chance to shine if Bennett didn't exist? And how long are we going to see Bennett be a staple in every single team comp known under the sun? People already know it's going to be a good, strong, screenshot damage DPS or an amazing team. Oh, Bennett's there? Meh, I'll pass, that's boring. People are over it, and I'm seeing that more and more and more now. But why did Bennett exist in the first place? Well, obviously, when Genshin first came out, there wasn't a meta. People didn't even know how to build artifact sets properly. Like, people were doing wacky bullshit. In a way, I sort of missed that era of Genshin because it was so fun, and, you know, bosses and overworld enemies actually posed a challenge. People didn't care about, like, beating the abyss in a minute and a half. It was all about just having fun and throwing together wacky bullshit that worked for you, and then discovering like, oh, these two characters synergize well. I was able to accomplish that quest or beat that boss. But then when people learned what Bennett could do, it all changed. He was in every team comp. Everybody and every new character we ever received was always compared to Bennett. Oh, Bennett can do that better. Bennett does that plus more. Bennett this, Bennett that. And it sort of ruined a lot of new characters and potential they could have had. Bennett should have never existed. And just think of how much money Genshin lost with the introduction of Bennett. Because Bennett's a relatively free to play, easy to get, don't need to get many constellations type character that's like S tier since day one. But yet, think of all of the characters that they released that people just didn't pull on because they're like, oh, Bennett already does that but better. Bennett's already a better support. Bennett can even be a DPS. Bennett can heal already plus do other things. Bennett can buff you but also heal and do other things. There's just so many scenarios throughout the lifespan of Genshin where Bennett's existence just ruined newer characters' potential to have a place in this game and be a staple character. And that's not Bennett's fault or the new character's fault. That's just the fact that they released this 4-star broken-ass character since day one and never did anything about it. But the problem is, what can you do? You can't just outright nerf him to oblivion after he's already been in the game for so long, because that would be like taking something you give people in a video game and literally removing it. You can't do that. I think they made a huge mistake and they realize this, but there's nothing they can do. Bennett already exists in this game. You can't nerf him now, it's too late. Too many people love using him. He's too much of a staple. You can't just nerf him because that would be such a greedy, oh, we want to make more money type move, and they know this. I really do think that if they could go back in time though, before this game launches, they would absolutely remove or nerf him to oblivion. Most of the original 4-stars we got were all really damn good, but I think that has more to do with they just didn't really know the numbers in the meta too well yet. They just threw out these characters and, you know, thought they had reasonable kits, and because people do what people do and they overanalyze, dissect, and try every little thing, they realize that these X amount of characters, Bennett being at the pinnacle of that, were absurdly stupid good. They couldn't keep up with that. You're gonna power creep Bennett every time. You'd have just a plethora of unstoppable characters. If you make characters worse or do less, which they did, then people are going to complain and say, well, this 4-star does everything that your new 5-star you want me to pay $100+ for? Forget it. So I think Bennett, in short, is the biggest mistake that they ever made. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars have they lost because Bennett's existence, and people can just use him instead of this new 5-star? And yet they can't do a damn thing about it because now that he exists in the game, you can't just take him away. You can't just nerf him for no reason and no explanation. It is quite the conundrum. We have a lot of good 4-star characters, and like I said, most of the original 4-stars were pretty damn good once people figured out how to build them and how to maximize, crunch the numbers, percentages, every little detail. We were able to really make do with great 4-stars, and in its own way, I gotta hand it to Genshin because they could have easily just made very mediocre 4-stars and really forced people to pull on all the banners and build a competent team, but they didn't do that. Instead, it's quite the opposite. A lot of the earlier 4-stars were just as good, if not better, than 5-stars. Add the fact that you can easily get more constellations for them, there was no reason to have to pull on every single character. But as a company, and as a business that wants to make money, how stupid are you to even include Bennett in the first place? But we're finally getting to the point where people are sick of seeing him, don't really want to build him and use him on every single team comp. People are trying to be creative and work outside Bennett. I do like to see that, and I've been saying this for a long time now, but it really is a shame that every single new character that we've ever had, for the most part, has always been compared to this guy. And it's not, like I said, Bennett's fault. He's just so good, and there's nothing we can do about it. But anyways, that's my rant for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm assuming if you've played Genshin long enough, we've all used Bennett at some point, and probably still are. But will there ever be a character that completely replaces him, does everything he can do but better? And would that be a good thing? Or would that be a bad thing? Or would that cause more problems? Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, this isn't meant to bash Bennett, because he's a phenomenal character and I'm happy to use him. I'm glad everyone likes him. But as a business standpoint, it was really stupid for them to make him as good as he is. But on that note, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, we will see you all in the next one. Later.